Sound! So at the moment, our game's a little bit dry in respect of we kind of play along and we collect things, and that's fine, but it's awfully quiet in my opinion. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a sound effect playing when I collect these items, and I'm going to have a sound when I jump, and I'm also going to have some background music as well. So at the moment, in our assets, we've just got the scripts. So I'm actually going to bring in some assets, which I've downloaded. They're on my desktop. Let me go find them. It's the backing track. And I've also got my jump sound effect, and I've got a plip sound effect. So I'm going to import those in, and then they will appear in here. Now, just to point out, this is kind of a prototype game, so I'm not actually going to keep the game as basic as this. I am actually going to have characters and background and stuff on there, but just for the time being, we're kind of setting it up so we get everything working, and then when we're happy it all works, we'll start bringing things in to make this look a little bit nicer. Now then, the 8-bit backing track, that's my kind of like background music. I'm literally just going to drag and drop that up onto there, and it appears over here on the hierarchy on the side, so you can give it a different name if you want, and you get this appearing in the inspector. So I want it to play on awake, and I also want it to loop as well. Now, the priority is how loud it's going to be. Well, no, actually, that's that priority. Yeah. So the volume will stay as one, but I'm going to drop the priority down because I don't want it to be like too strong as I'm going along. So if I just press play now, what should happen is straight away is that track should start to play, as you can hear. So that's a little bit better. So volume's okay on that at this point in time. But like I said, I also want some sound to play when I jump, and I also want sound to play when I collect these icons, collect these triangles. So what I'm going to need to do over on the left-hand side, I'm going to need to add an empty, and this is going to be jump sound. I'm also going to add an empty for collect sound. So there's nothing in these at this point, as you can see over on the side, but my collect sound is going to be plip, so I'm going to drag that across to there. Now I don't want it to play on awake. I'm actually going to untick, and I'm going to keep the priority so it's a bit louder in the backing track. If I didn't click untick that, then basically it would play as soon as I kind of played the game. But I only actually want it to trigger when I kind of come into contact with these. And my jump sound, let me grab my jump, where it is, there it is, but there. I'm going to drag it across to that and on my jump, and then going to also make sure I untick that as well. Now then, to get those to play, go to a little bit of coding. So I've got my movement codes, and I'm just going to add, and I'm going to be brave, I'm not copying and pasting anything at this point, so bear with me if I make mistakes. So audio source and jumping sounds, right? And when I jump then, which is this part here, if I press the space bar, I'll jump up. I actually want the jumping sound, which I've just typed up there. I want that to play. So I'm going to type out jumping sound again. In fact, I don't need to type it out because it's there. I can just double click on it. And look at that, it's actually helping me out as well with the code, which is there for us. So if I just press tab, I think, yep, that's brilliant. And I'll save that. And if I go on to, where am I to? Onto my, just let that save because I've pressed save on that. And if I go on to my collecting codes, I'm going to do the same thing again. So on here, we'll need to add that variable again, public audio source. And this time it's going to be collecting sound. And then down here, I'm going to have collecting sounds. I'm just going to press tab because it's done it for us already, look. And I'm going to press save. Now, when I go back to my game, it's going to kind of upload and there shouldn't be any errors without code. Well, I'm pretty confident I was okay with that. And when I press play, I can tell you straight away it's not going to work. And I'll explain why in a moment because you might make the same mistakes I'm doing. So down here, look, it's kind of saying, well, it's not actually picking up on the fact that I'm jumping or I'm collecting something. And the reason why, if I actually go to my movement code first of all, not my movement code, it talks us on my player, because it's connected to my player. And if I scroll down, it's going to say, well, what is this jumping sound you're referring to? So the reason why I put the jumping sound thing over here and I dragged and dropped it and dumped it into there is because I need to grab that and put it there. And you can see it's the same for my collecting as well. So let's drag that across to that area. And this time when I press play, our backing track should kick in straight away like it does in the background. And when I jump, that happens, and you can hear the noise happening as I'm clicking things as well. Okay, that's cool. Right, now in our next video, we're going to get a scoring system coming up on the screen as well.